Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this broadcast of HCTV Sports here at Hastings Middle School, bringing you some boys swim and dive action between the Hastings Raiders and South St. Paul Packers. I'm Theodore Tollefson here on play-by-play, and joining me this evening is Julie Urban. Julie, how are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. It's nice to be inside where it's nice and warm.
Yes, very warm here in the pool, more than the average temp indoors right now, especially after the cold week we've been living through.
It has been a little bit cold. It's fun to be here, back at the Hastings Middle School for a swim meet tonight.
Yeah, certainly. And I know it is parent night as well, which they will have going on in between the first relays and diving. And I know your son is on the swim team, correct?
He is. Caleb is a sophomore.
All right. So still got a few years to go.
A few more years of watching swim meets. Tonight we're going to start with the 200-yard medley relay. We do have a heat of junior varsity, and then we'll have a heat of varsity. Tonight there is only one team. The South St. Paul Packers have one relay for JV. Caleb Schlemmer, Alex Ortiz-Flores, Aaron Milwaukee, and Matthew Glendernick. So for a medley relay, as you are looking at your screen, just for reference tonight, lane 1 is at the top of your screen and lane 6 is at the bottom. So right now we have swimmers in lane 4. Medley relay is every swimmer swims one of the 4 strokes: backstroke, breaststroke, butterfly, and freestyle. So the backstroker just hit the wall, and in the water is the breaststroker.
Yep, and that's 200 yards total that it adds up to.
A 50 of each, a down and back as fast as they can. I overheard the coach saying that these 4 are really pretty new swimmers, and they're looking strong.
Yeah, that's good. And only one of them is a upperclassman. Well, 2 of them are upperclassmen.
Yeah.
One 7th grader and the other a 9th grader. So definitely good practice all around, especially for the younger swimmers.
It's important on the exchange from one swimmer to the next. The timing is that the swimmer in the water, their fingers have to touch the wall before the feet of the swimmer leaves the blocks. So swimmers work on the timing of that to use it most efficiently. Their body can be moving forward before their feet leave the blocks, and it's important to get that timing down. This is Aaron Milwaukee swimming the butterfly 50.
It looks like he's just about to finish here. Teammate looking fairly eager to get in, and he does.
Swimmers who are waiting, for their turn, the exchange, often swing their arms behind them as a way of gaining momentum as they enter the water. Some people have asked me why they do that, and it's just simply, let's see how much forward progress we can start.
Okay. Geldernick, the final swimmer here, finishing it all up. Just a quick 2.5-minute warm-up per se,
Right.
since they weren't swimming against any other relay teams.
So now we will have 5 lanes. Tonight, the Packers from South St. Paul will be in lanes 2, 4, and 6, and Hastings will be in 1, 3, 5. So we have 3 Hastings teams and 2 Packers teams for this relay.
Event 2 is our 200 medley varsity relay. We have the Packers in lanes 2 and 4, and the Hastings Raiders.
The announcer is going through the same kind of deal, introducing lanes and teams. Again, the swimmers enter the water. For backstroke, you start in the water with your feet on the wall and your hands up on a specially designed bar.
Mm-hmm. And that one starts now, so 200-yard medley. So pretty much just the same thing what we just saw.
Right. In lane 1 for Hastings, Nick Cohn, Tyler Wood, Garrett Watterson, and Isaac Schultz. In lane 2 for the Packers, Joe Rozo, Noah Ofling, Tom Eikens, and Andrew Ritter. In lane 3 for Hastings, Caleb Urban, Philip Jensen, Oliver Gergen, and Tristan Herbst. In lane 4 for the Packers, John Rohan, Daniel Everson, Stephen Eikens, and Colin Rathmanner. And in lane 5 for Hastings, Nathan Barker, Adam Dewar, Charlie Jensen, and Kenrick O'Donnell. Looks like all the second leg swimmers doing the breaststroke are in the water.
Yep, Jensen is leading in lane 3 right now for the Raiders. And in lane 4, it looks like Everson for the Packers is in second for this event with neck and neck in lanes 1 and 2 right now.
And even 5 is close as well. There goes the third swimmer for Hastings, Oliver Gergen on the butterfly.
Has an extensive lead, but number Eikens looks very fast indeed, making his way up.
Still really close in lanes 1 and 2, and here in lane 5 as well.
Eikens really close there. With Gergen.
Garrett Watterson up in lane 1 is pulling ahead a little bit, and in lane 2 for the Packers is Tom Eikens, and in lane 5 finishing up is Charlie Jensen.
So Tristan Herbst is leading right now, and Rathmanner is trying to catch up, but it looks like
Herbst is going to win this one for Hastings. And Isaac Schultz up in lane 1 is pulling away a little bit, and it's really close between 2 and 5.
Yep, O'Donnell and Ritter just going neck and neck, and O'Donnell just edging out ever so slightly, but with our view, it might be about the same.
I think it's going to be South St. Paul in lane 2.
Yeah, and it looks like it was coming in at the final time.
Relays are really fun for swimmers. They get to swim obviously right alongside with their teammates. The medley relay, is even more of a mix than just a freestyle relay. It's fun to have the mix. We're going to move on to the 200-yard freestyle. This is the varsity heat. There is not a JV heat. It looks like we're having a little adjustment with the timing apparatus. As you can imagine, electric timing and water presents
not always the best mix.
Always opportunities for trouble.
Exactly. But it also just gives everyone a little time to reset and adjust before the next event.
Right.
So this is just a 200-yard freestyle.
In the world of swimming, a 200-yard freestyle is really considered a sprint. 8 lengths as fast as you can, which is obviously different than a 50. But it is not a distance event.
Yeah.
It's a long sprint.
All lanes will be occupied, so 3 and 3.
3 and 3. Taylor Schmaltz for Hastings is in lane 1. Noah Offling is in lane 2 for the Packers. John Destros is in lane 3 for Hastings. Aaron Milwaukee is in lane 4 for the Packers. Obi Haveman from Hastings is in lane 5, and Caleb Weiberg for the Packers is in lane 6. It's quiet for the start.
And they're off in this one. These boys just got to go back and forth 4 times.
Flip turns often show who is kind of the position of swimmers. As they come to the wall and they flip over, John Destros hit the wall first, quickly followed by Taylor Schmaltz. A good race between lanes 2, 5, and 6.
Yep, we're certainly seeing that right now, and Destros just leading altogether for the most part.
Yep.
With his teammates Schmaltz catching up, little neck and neck between them. So kind of nice when the next guy over to you. That's
right,
in
so
terms
your
of time,
teammate.
So it's not too much of a loss in comparison.
John Destros is a senior and known for his speed. A 200 is a long race to keep sprinting. So we'll see if Taylor will creep up on him even more.
And then third place there in lane number 2.
Yeah, a nice race for 3. Yes, I was
Noah
right.
Offling,
Obi
yep.
Haveman and Noah Offling up in lane 2. And it looks like Taylor has pulled ahead a little bit. Taylor also has slightly longer arms. So if it comes down to an arm length, Taylor might outtouch John.
And we have a couple more laps to go, correct?
This is actually it.
Okay.
It's pretty fast. We'll see who finishes. It's going to be very close. And I think it's Taylor.
Yep.
Schmaltz in lane 1. Nice race.
And then lane 5 there. Haveman's going to get in.
It's going to be a 1, 2, 3 for Hastings, followed by Noah Offling in lane 2. Schmaltz won that event in a 1:58.46.
Very nice. And then Milwaukee and Weiberg are bringing up the rear here. Finish this event out. So that will complete
Event 4.
Yep. Skipped over 3. Going straight to event 6 now. Boys 200-yard intramural.
IM. Oh my goodness. Individual medley.
Medley. I haven't covered swimming in a few months here.
No, it's
First one
good.
in a while, so.
The individual medley. Every swimmer swims all 4 strokes. A 50 of each stroke. In the relay, you saw that they started with backstroke. In the individual medley, you start with butterfly. Butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle. We have 5 swimmers tonight. Nathan Barker from Hastings is in lane 1. Joe Rosso from South St. Paul in lane 2. Adam Dewar, lane 3 for Hastings. Stephen Eikens for the Packers in lane 4. And Oliver Gergen, lane 5 for Hastings. Start out with a fast 50 of butterfly.
Dewar leading in that category right now,
yeah.
but
Adam loves the butterfly, so I would expect Adam to be out fast and in front.
8 laps can still be pretty exhausting
Right.
when you're doing 4 different types of breaststrokes, or
4 different strokes, and every swimmer has a stroke they love and one that is not their favorite. And usually medley races are decided by the breaststroke. Many swimmers love it or hate it, and if you're good at it, you excel at the IM.
Gergen and Eikens neck and neck right now in that second place. But again, they still got a breaststroke. And then freestyle, I believe. That's what remains, so still going to be a while.
A nice race up in 1 and 2 with Nathan Barker and Joe Rosso. There are official rules for how swimmers turn at the wall with different strokes. Sometimes you might say, well, why didn't they do a flip turn then? Flip turns, usually they do not do a flip turn with a breaststroke. So they 2-hand touch, and they have to touch with 2 hands, and they turn doing what they call an open turn. 2-hand touch, open turn for breaststroke. Oliver is pulling ahead a little bit. Oliver Gergen in lane 5 from Stephen Eikens.
Yep, the 2 of them probably going to touch the wall a few seconds in difference. Looks to be that
And
way.
end with a 50 free. Adam Dewar has a commanding lead of this race.
Eikens kind of catching up on Gergen after that few seconds in between them bouncing off the walls to start this.
Oliver's going to have to kick for home. Eikens is on his tail. And right now, Gergen cannot see him because he's breathing on the opposite side.
which might be a bit of an advantage not to see your opponent, and it looks like Bergen finishes before Eikens.
Adam Dewar wins that event in a 2:16. We have 2 swimmers still in the pool that are finishing their last 50 of freestyle. Joe from South St. Paul in lane 2, and Nathan Barker in lane 1.
Russell just finishing up his final 25 yards here. Got to the wall first. And Barker just making his time. And he's beginning to finish up his final 25 yards.
Teammates cheering them on as they finish.
Yep, often what's heard here during the events. At the opposite end of the pool usually as well. And they're just trying to make that turnaround for themselves. And no, they've at least made it to the end. And
right. They have to swim for home.
Yep.
That concludes the 200 IM, and we'll move on to the 50-yard freestyle, the shortest event. We do have a JV heat tonight with 4 swimmers, and then we'll have a varsity heat with all 6 lanes full. In lane 2, we seem to have a little timing.
Down here on the table, ducks are $1. We'll be doing them around our diving program. Also, tonight is Parents' Night for your Hastings Raiders. We will be having a little presentation before we begin diving this season.
The 50, as fast as one can go, from one end of the pool down and back.
Yep, so 3 Packers and then 1 Raider in this first junior varsity event.
Got some young ones, 2 7th graders and an 8th grader. I love to see that.
Yeah.
In lane 1, Corbin Ambrose for South St. Paul. In lane 2, Kenrick O'Donnell for Hastings. In lane 4, Caleb Schlemmer for the Packers. And in lane 6, Jamaris Tess.
Everyone up and ready. And they're off. O'Donnell took the most time underwater on that dive.
He is second to the wall. Caleb Schlemmer has a slight lead over him.
And it looks like Schlemmer's putting a little distance between the two.
A tight race between the Packers in 6 and 2.
Still a great finish there for O'Donnell.
Nice.
Great hustle from him. Ambrose and Tess just finishing it out as well. So that'll bring us to the varsity 50-yard freestyle, which might be a little bit quicker.
We have 6 full lanes. Tyler Wood for Hastings in lane 1. Again, if you're just joining us, lane 1 is at the top of your screen and lane 6 is at the bottom of your screen. So Tyler Wood for Hastings is in lane 1. Daniel Everson for South St. Paul in lane 2. Philip Jensen, senior captain for the Raiders in lane 3. Colin Rathmanner for South St. Paul in lane 4. Garrett Watterson for Hastings in lane 5. And Tom Eikens in lane 6 for the Packers.
Eikens, an 8th grader, participating in the varsity event. So he's probably going to be flying.
I know that the world record in the 50-yard freestyle is under 20 seconds. No one will go under 20 seconds tonight.
Unlikely, but if they get to that 30-second mark, that's going to be very impressive in itself. Just looking at the records here, I don't know if they have the 50-yard listed.
They do. So it's held by Elliot Wilcox, a 21:11. That is a fast 50.
Oh, yeah. And just complete hustle from Jensen here. He's going to extend the lead.
I think Phillip took 2 breaths on that race.
All right.
In a 22:87. That's a nice time.
Very close to that pool record.
Wow. I am not sure. I cannot remember what Phillip's fastest 50 is, but I'm guessing that's getting close.
Yes.
But in a 50, it's hard to take a lot of time off. There's not enough time in the race, to get a personal best every time by a second or two.
No, there isn't. So that's a great finish there for Edmonton. Everyone else. So
we're going to get ready for both diving and parent night. So before diving, the swimmers from Hastings will be introduced
alongside all their parents. So with that, we're going to take a quick break here on HCTV, and then we'll be right back. So we'll see you then.
Parents' night. We are going to introduce the managers and the swimmers and their parents. We start out with our 2 managers, 11th grader Emma Carter, parents Kelly and Jeff. We're moving a little faster than the swimmers are. Okay, we're going to move to the swimmers. 7th grader Thomas Foss, parents Dawn and Chris. 8th grader Tristan Herbst, parents Jean and Todd. If you cannot see, the swimmers have a flower and a picture for their parents, so as they walk kind of in front of us, then they are going to find their parents. 9th grader Nathan Barker, parents Andrea and Adam. Ninth grader Oliver Gergen, Ann and Scott, parents.
Scott, the PA announcer here this evening.
Right. The Gergen's 3rd swimmer. Another 9th grader Charlie Jensen. Parents Andrea and Adam. Andrea and Andy, my goodness. 9th grader Isaac Schulk, parents Mandy and Aaron. We'll move on to our 10th graders.
10th grader,
Kenrick O'Donnell, 10th grader, parents Becky and Patrick.
10th grader, Taylor Schultz.
Taylor Schmaltz is our next 10th grader, parents Lynette and Alan. Next 10th grader, Caleb Urban. Julie and Scott are his parents. He didn't want to wave at me.
Oh, you're a little embarrassed.
10th grader, Garrett Watterson, parents Jennifer and Paul. 11th grader, Adam Dewar, parents are Michelle and Nick. Next 11th grader is Rafael Gudrian. His host parents, he is an exchange student this year swimming, and his host parents are Jennifer and Pat. If I remember correctly, the Netherlands is
very nice.
Rafael's home country. We're glad he is here. Another 11th grader, Tyler Wood. Tanya and Nate are his parents. And we'll move to our seniors, 4 seniors. Senior John Destros and his parents Annie and Jeff. Senior Obie Haveman, parents Tammy and Dave. The next senior is Philip Jensen, parents Andrea and Andy.
Won't even take the walk. I'll just jump over.
Right, jump over the fence. Andrea and Andy have both Philip and Charlie. And our final senior, Nick Cohn, parents Amy and Casey. We thought we were starting with the managers, but we're going to end with them. Maybe?
Maybe. Or not. Looks like it.
Well,
yep.
we're going to give them one more. The parents, swimmers, a round of applause here in the stadium, the Hastings Middle School pool. Diving will be next.
And then we'll be right back at the start of diving. Stay tuned. And welcome back to this broadcast of HCTV Sports at Hastings Middle School, bringing you some boys swimming action between the Raiders and South St. Paul Packers. So now we'll be going into the 6 rounds of diving, and Julie, if you want to explain how that one works out a little bit.
So there's an order. They do the same, order of divers for the 6 rounds of diving. This is Nick Cohen. He is diving in his 2nd meet ever. He's going to do a back dive in the straight position.
And then the judges, one from each team, and then the Minnesota State High School League is the neutral one.
So that was Nick from Hastings. Tyler Debbing from South St. Paul is next. The judges give the dive a score based on multiple factors. Tyler is doing the same dive, a back dive in the straight position.
Launched himself pretty far off that one. The judges give a score of 3, 3, and 4.5.
Thomas Foss from the Hastings Raiders diving, I believe, in his first meet. Thomas is a 7th grader, has been swimming for years on Haste Club team, and is now given diving a try. And he's doing the same dive, a back dive in the straight position.
A nice first dive ever from Thomas in his first meet.
Scores 4.5, 4, and 4.5.
So the judges agrees too, which is very nice.
Andrew Ritter from South St. Paul, back dive in the straight position. The same dive. The first 4 have done the same dive.
Ritter, a 10th grader.
Divers like it very quiet, need it very quiet at the start of a dive. He scores a 6, 4.5, and a 5.
Highest ones, yep.
As they stand on the end or, concentrating on the approach to do a dive, you need the silence for concentration. This is Charlie Jensen for the Hastings Raiders, a 9th grader. He is doing a back dive in the pike position. It was a nice entry, and the judges thought so too, with a 6.5, a 6.5, and a 6. So each dive has a degree of difficulty. Each dive is described by the way it is executed, how they leave the board, the position their body would be in pike or straight or tuck.
So 3 tucks in this event, and then 2 pikes.
So we're on to round 2, and we start the order again with Nick Cohn from Hastings, a senior. He's doing an inward dive in the tuck position. So he leaves the board, facing the board, and enters the water facing away from the board.
And you got 2 3s and a 3.5 on that one.
And Tyler Debbing from South St. Paul is doing the same dive, an inward dive in the tuck position.
The judges scoring on that one, 4 and 2 4.5s.
Judges look at how a diver executes the approach, or how they leave the board, the position of their body in the air, and how they enter the water. One of the goals of diving is to enter the water with as little a splash as possible. This is Thomas Foss from Hastings with a back 1 somersault in the tuck position.
And judges scoring on that one, 4.5, 4, and 4.5.
Andrew Ritter is next. He's going to do a reverse dive in the pike position. I believe this is the first reverse we've seen tonight. So he goes off facing forward and reverses direction in the air. And lands facing the board.
Looking a little closer than it probably was. So 2 4s and a 5 on that one.
Inwards and reverses make people a little nervous.
Yep.
We're on to Charlie Jensen, Hastings Raiders, back 1 somersault pike position.
It looks like one of the high school league officials just moving their position right now. Going over to the official stable. Something we'll get discussed here before Charlie does another dive attempt.
You see divers have that little towel, a chamois, that's that amazingly absorbent material. They get themselves dried off as they stand. It's cold, first of all, to stand outside. And second of all, they want to be dry.
Yep.
So the official was changing. There was a request for a change in dive. And I did not exactly hear what Charlie was going to do. But I'm sure he's going to give it his best. That looked like a back 1.5 in the tuck position. In order to land head first, you have to do at least 1.5.
And 2 5s and a 6 on that one for Charlie.
Starting round 3, top of the order is Nick Cohn from the Raiders. He will do a forward dive in the straight position.
And just a reminder that our next broadcast will be tomorrow night over at the high school, covering girls basketball between 2 rivers.
Scores for Nick, 3, 2, and 3. Sometimes what looks like it would be the easy dive, because there's not flips and twists, can be very challenging to keep your body in a really strong position. This is Tyler Debbing, South St. Paul, forward 1.5 somersaults in the tuck position. He got all the way around.
Yep. And judges scores 4 and 2 3.5s.
Thomas Foss from Hastings is next. He'll try. He will do an inward dive in the tuck position.
And just a correction, they're actually playing Simile, not 2 Rivers tomorrow night, girls basketball. Hunter, what are you doing, man? Look at the schedule before you share that with me.
Hopefully there'll be a big crowd.
I think there will be.
A Friday night. Nice job. Thomas scores 4.5, 4.5, and 5.
Yeah, they've been doing fairly well this season under the new head coach and been winning a lot of games, so we're hoping that that'll be the case. And the boys will be on Town Square TV as they are on the road against Simile tomorrow evening. And we will have the girls, so you can watch those basketball games there.
Andrew Ritter's on the board from South St. Paul, a forward dive, 1 twist in the straight position. Andrew is tall. And to get twisted, nice.
Lands with a big splash on that one.
That might have hurt a little bit, but he gave it his best effort. That was great.
So 2 2.5s and a 2.
Up next is Charlie, 5231 D.
Charlie Jensen is doing a back 1 1/2 somersault with a half twist in the free position. Nicely done. All rotations and a twist. 5 1/2, 5 1/2, and a 6 1/2.
Very nice.
We'll start our 4th round of diving. Nick Cohn was only diving for 3 rounds, so this time we start with Tyler Debbing, South St. Paul, a reverse 1 somersault in the tuck position.
And a 4 1/2, 2 4 1/2, and a 5.
Thomas Foss is up next for the Raiders, doing an inward 1 somersault in the tuck position. Nicely done, all the way around.
The scores are 5 1/2, 4 1/2, and 4 1/2 on that one.
Andrew Ritter is next.
Up next is Andrew, 302C.
He will do a reverse 1 somersault in the tuck position, the same dive that his teammate Tyler did earlier in this round. Again, nicely done, all the way around.
Scores on that one, 5, 5 1/2, and a 4 1/2.
Charlie Jensen's on the board next. He will do a forward 1 1/2 somersault in the pike position.
B, forward 1 1/2 somersault, pike position 1.7.
That was a
on that
pretty
one.
beautiful dive.
Yeah.
Nice
2
entry.
6 1/2s and a 5 1/2.
Leading off round 5 is Tyler, 301C.
Round 5.
Reverse dive.
Tyler Debbing's up from South St. Paul. Reverse dive in the tuck position. Scores for Tyler, 3 1/2, 2 1/2, and 3 1/2.
Up next is Thomas, 103C.
Thomas Foss next for the Hastings Raiders. Forward 1 1/2 somersault in the tuck position. Got all the
Scores coming
rotations in.
So we got a 4, 3 1/2, and 3 1/2.
Andrew Ritter for South St. Paul is doing the same dive. The forward 1 1/2 somersault in the tuck position.
And scores for Ritter on that one, 2 5 1/2s and a 5.
Charlie Jensen will finish round 5 with a forward 2 somersaults in the tuck position.
so far for the night. This is the most difficult dive with a 2.2 degree of difficulty. Scores for Charlie, 6.5, 5, and 6.
Very impressive dive there.
We are moving on to the last round of divers. And Tyler Debbing is up. Reverse dive, forward dive, 1 twist in the straight position.
This looks to be the most challenging for Tyler this evening.
Mm-hmm. Got the twist in.
Scores are 4s all around.
Thomas Foss is next. He is doing a back dive with a half twist in the straight position. His hardest dive of the evening as well, a 1.8 degree of difficulty. And scores 3.5, 4, and 5. Andrew Ritter up for his final dive. Inward 1 somersault in the tuck position. Scores for Andrew, a 5, 5, and a 5. Our last dive for the night is Charlie Jensen. He is doing an inward 1.5 somersaults in the tuck position. Another degree of difficulty of 2.2.
And the scores on that one at 5, 4.5, and 4.
That does conclude diving. We will have scores as we get back. The guys will take a little break here as the swimmers have a warm-up period, and we'll be back.
Yeah, and just stay tuned here for a quick special message from HCTV.
Crash that way, not this way. Come on.
Oh, hey there. Do you like HCTV?
That's one small step for Hastings and one giant leap for community television.
Do you want a custom video that promotes your business or organization and gives you the results you're looking for? Hastings Community TV is the nonprofit public access station that has served the great city of Hastings since 1983. All of our shows are available for free on our Facebook page, YouTube channel, and website at hastingstv.org. If you're a Comcast cable subscriber, you can see our content on channel 799 and 859. So who creates this content anyway? A dedicated staff of around 8 people, like our technical director, Kurt Radke, who's behind the camera now. Hey, Kurt, why don't you come on over and say hello to the audience?
Wait, what?
Now, come on, get over here.
All right. Well, that should be fine here.
There we go. By sponsoring HCTV, you'll be supporting shows like Aprons Optional, Around the Mic, Don't Flip the Table, Take a Hike Mike, sports, graduation, local news packages, city council, and the list goes on. We're always cooking up some great content at HCTV.
How did you do that?
I don't know. As an HCTV sponsor, our staff will work with your business or organization to create a custom video to promote your brand. You also have an option of getting a shout out in every sporting event we cover. And that's 3 points for your business. So support HCTV today! Go to hastingstv.org/sponsors for more information or to give a one-time donation.
And welcome back to this broadcast of HCTV Sports here at Hastings Middle School at Pool, bringing you some boys swimming action between the Hastings Raiders and South St. Paul Packers. And before we sent you into break, we played a video on the brand new HCTV sponsorship program. This is a great way to support HCTV so it can continue to grow and thrive as a nonprofit. If you want to sponsor HCTV or give a one-time donation, go to www.hastingstv.org/sponsors. So now we're back from the break, and the scoreboard, it reads 50-27 with Hastings leading over the Packers. So yeah, Julie, what are we looking for here in this second half of the meet, so to say?
Right. You know, my guess is that, we have a bunch of hundreds, but we also have that 500.
Oh, yes.
Which is the distance race of the the high school swim season. Hastings has made a few kind of lineup changes tonight, having swimmers swim things that they don't necessarily often swim, maybe aren't their favorite, but a good thing to do. They are announcing some diving results. Nick Cohn was in
fourth place from the South St. Paul Packers with a score of 115.25.
Nick doing just the 3 events
right.
to start, since this was one of his first or second.
I find it as second. So they're he must have been in fourth place. Third place for the Raiders must be Thomas Foss. Nice job.
In second place from South St. Paul with a score of 136.05, Andrew Ritter.
Andrew Ritter in second place for South St. Paul. And that leaves Charlie Jensen from Hastings Raiders in first place with a score, 98? Theo, when you have teams like this that are not huge in numbers, like, we're talking maybe 20 swimmers each. In a meet like this, you can mix things up a little bit, and you can have kids that often swim JV, swim up in a varsity event, which is a great opportunity for them. So this...
Yeah, absolutely.
After the break, we start with the 100 butterfly, 4 lengths of butterfly. There is not a JV heat. We're going right into the varsity. The swimmers seem ready, and there's a little consulting going on with officials.
Yeah, it looks like we only got 2 junior varsity, actually 3. Let me double check here. 1, nope, just 2.
It's 2 JV heats in this back half of the meet. As you might guess, butterfly is a grueling stroke.
Yes.
It takes a lot of effort it's one of those like total body. Not that, any part of swimming really doesn't use every muscle, but a strong core, strong legs, strong upper body, strong set of lungs. There's a fair amount of coordination just to get your arms out of the water together, propelled by the dolphin kick behind.
Yep.
So tonight in the 100 flight, Oliver Gergen in lane 1 for Hastings. In lane 2 for the Packers is Thomas Eikens. In lane 3 for the Raiders is Caleb Urban. In lane 4 for the Packers is John Rohan. In lane 5 for the Hastings Raiders is Garrett Watterson. And in lane 6 for the Packers is Aaron Milwaukee. I apologize.
Sounds right.
I apologize, Aaron. I've probably said it different every time. We're getting ready for the start. The swimmers are up on the blocks.
They all enter the water here.
For swimmers, the amount of time they spend underwater at the start and at the turns is kind of important. Swimmers work on underwater technique and streamline. I remember when swimmers were young, I heard from coaches, we're going to have a streamline party, meaning let's learn how to keep our bodies in streamline when we come off the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb from Hastings touching the wall first in lane 3.
Yep, he has quite sizable lead right now. It looks like his teammate Gergen's coming up behind him, but just a little distance between the two of them. In the close race in lanes 2 and 4.
Yeah.
Weibergen with Rathmanner. Actually, no.
With Garrett
Rowan and
Watterson
Eikens.
in lane 5. And in lane 6, Milwaukee. Looks like Gergen hits in second place.
And then it will be Rowan and Eikens.
And
to
Eikens,
follow.
yep. Garrett Watterson.
And Milwaukee just finishing up.
Urban swimming a 57.83.
Quite impressive there.
It looks like the pool or the school record is a 51.03 set back in 2012. That is a fast 100 butterfly.
Oh, certainly. And moving on to the 100-yard freestyle junior varsity.
Yep, a junior varsity event. Rafael Gudrian will be in lane 3 for Hastings, and in lane 6, Corbin Ambrose for South St. Paul. 100 free, 4 lengths of freestyle, front crawl as some people call it. 4 lengths as fast as you can.
And off they go.
You may wonder why some swimmers wear a cap and why some swimmers don't. Sometimes it's personal choice. It's not mandated that you wear a cap.
Yeah.
There are some that have a lot of hair.
Yeah, and they
And
want
it
to.
is, when I swim, I must wear a cap or I would be miserable. Some of the guys don't have the long hair, but there's also the, I guess, is it not aerodynamic, hydrodynamic? Is that a word? I don't
Just
know.
more weight
Moves-
on
You
your
know, the
body.
water, right, and the water moves over a smooth latex surface
Yep.
better than a mop of hair on top of your head. But to be honest, they are tight and they are not super comfortable.
I suppose it's something they get used to
They
after time.
definitely get used to it. But they also can be hot. So some
can
swimmers in the
imagine.
longer events do not enjoy a cap. So it looks like Rafael will touch the wall first in this JV 100 freestyle. And Corbin Ambrose, a 7th grader, giving it his best as he comes to the wall. Coach is encouraging.
It'll finish about 1:26, it looked like. Again, still being a 7th grader, he's still got ways to go, so he
Yep.
could go up from here.
Oh, absolutely.
Event 14, this is our 100 free varsity.
So varsity 100 free. We have a full pool, 6 lanes. Thomas Foss in lane 1 for Hastings. In lane 2, Caleb Weiberg for the Packers. In lane 3, Tristan Herbst for Hastings. In lane 4, Colin Rathmanner for South St. Paul. Obi Haveman in lane 5 for Hastings. And in lane 6, Alex Ortiz Flores for the Packers. This is an all-out sprint. 4 lengths as fast as they can.
They're all in the water now.
They are all in the water. I was talking about underwaters before. You know, swimmers try to be efficient and stay underwater as long as they can. There is a limit. You can't swim the entire length of the pool underwater.
Yep.
If you can see, there are the tall metal poles that have the flags, and then there's about 3/4 of the way down as a shorter set of poles, and they need to come up by the time they hit those poles. So here is Tristan in lane 3, leading just a little bit, but Thomas Foss in lane 2 is right there as they flip. I often look to see whose butt was up first, and it was a tie. So Tristan is coming in. Here comes Thomas.
Not too far behind them is Rathmanner.
And Obi Haveman in lane 5. Weiberg in lane 2, and Ortiz Flores in lane 6 for the Packers. Looks like Tristan did finish first with a 56.21, followed by Thomas in lane 1 with a 57.18. Nearly everyone was, well, a number of them were under a minute.
Majority, looking like a half and half.
I started to saying all, then I said as the times came in. So in the end, half and half. Great job. We will move to the longest event of the night, the 500 freestyle. We do have, well, that's
3 Raiders and 2 Packers running
missing someone in lane 2. The 500 is 20 lengths, 10 laps, freestyle. It's long enough that swimmers get a counter at the other end. That helps them keep track of where they are.
I suppose when you're trying to just keep your mind moving back and forth and trying to keep counting ahead, it could easily get lost.
Absolutely. It's very easy. Am I on 9 and 10 or am I on 11 and 12?
Exactly. So having that down there will help them out.
So tonight, swimming the 500 in lane 1 is senior John Destros from Hastings. In lane 3, senior Philip Jensen from Hastings. In lane 4 for the Packers is Caleb Schlemmer, a 7th grader. In lane 5, a 10th grader from Hastings, Kenrick O'Donnell. And in lane 6, senior Tyler Debbing from South St. Paul. And they are off. I will tell you what you just saw was Philip Jensen, who is one of the masters of the underwaters.
Yeah, he looked like he got up last there.
He did. I remember asking him once how he got so good at them. And he said, I just decided I needed every advantage, and I spent one summer focused on improving my underwaters.
Wow. Certainly paid off for him there, and I'm sure it does in most of his events.
It does. I will tell you that I don't think this is probably Philip's favorite event.
No.
He is a backstroker and likes shorter events, but his smooth stroke looks great in the 500. And Thomas up in lane 1 is a strong swimmer as well.
I'm sure there are very few exceptions for this event being someone's favorite.
Well, there are those crazy ones who really like distance swimming.
Yes.
My swimmer happens to love this event.
Okay.
And even the longer. So in, the world of swimming, the 500 is actually kind of a short event. There's the mile, which is roughly 3 500s. And then there's the 1,000, which is 2 500s, obviously. That's relatively easy math. But also in the world of swimming, there are pools that are yards and pools that are meters. So in the Olympics, they swim a 50-meter pool. This is a 25-yard pool. So there are events that can only be yards and only be meters. So there's an 800-meter and 1,000 yards. So depending on kind of the season and the size of the pool determines the events and the length of events. But the 500 is relatively short. So Phil is in the lead. He is finishing length number 9 as his teammate shows him on the card. And teammates and coaches, so the one doing the cards is in kind of communication with the coaches and uses the cards as a way of communicating to the swimmer. Meaning, shake the card. Basically, everything usually is go faster. So shake the card to go faster. Turn it upside down and shake it to really go faster.
Yep. Looks like Philip's going to be getting that right here.
He's getting the upside down, turn it on. Kick a little harder. See if you can, you know, increase your rate as you're about halfway through. Colin Rathmanner for the pack. No, I'm on the wrong event, but it's still a Caleb Schlemmer in lane 4 for the Packers. Finished 9, just finished 10, halfway done, followed by Kenrick O'Donnell in lane 5.
Looks like Debbing's counter in lane 6 there is counting backwards and not forwards.
He
with
might
his
be
numbers.
counting backwards.
And it looks to be that way.
You know, maybe the swimmer decides I'd rather you count me down than count me up.
Yep.
I just heard of a swimmer that was saying he used to get really worried about what length and what lap he was on, and he decided to ask his counter not to put the number in to show him, and he asked his coaches to wait until 15. So then he knew where he was, and he could, you know, start the close and maybe wrap up trying to speed up a little bit as the race was ending.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was an interesting technique.
Very.
Sometimes our mind can play tricks on us and we can focus too much on where we are. So Philip is on 17. Caleb Schlemmer for the Packers just finished 13, as is.
Destros looks like he's on number 14, going 15 or 16? 16.
I'm sorry, I have said the wrong name. It's John Destros up in lane 1, not Thomas Foss. I've gotten it wrong several times.
It's all right.
So the bell you just heard was over Philip Jensen's head, telling him that he was in his final 50. It's a 500 swimmer's favorite sound.
It looks like he will be finishing up here first in this event.
And a strong 500.
So Jensen getting his final time clocked in.
My guess is it's about a 5:12 or 5:13. 5:11. No.
Yep, 5:11.
Nope, 5:15.
Oh,
79.
5:15.
John Destros finishing up in lane 1. Caleb Schlemmer in the middle of the pool. Nearing the end, but just turning for 17. Same with Kenrick O'Donnell. In lane 5.
A little bit, yep.
Caleb has 150 left, as does Kenrick O'Donnell.
Looks like Devin still has 5 remaining.
If I recall correctly, Dubbing is a diver.
Yes. He was part of the tapping event, so.
He might not think the 500 is his favorite event, but maybe he loves it. Caleb from South St. Paul has really turned on the engine behind him. His feet are kicking as he is churning the water and headed for home, touching the wall.
He finishes there.
And Kenrick O'Donnell's coming behind him.
Schlemmer with a 6:47, it looks
I
like.
thought that was what I saw, but
Might be readjusting the time on that one.
well, I don't remember them being that close. A 6:58.97 and a 6:58.99. We might have to do a little adjusting on those times, but
I'm sure they will. There's still a few more laps here for
you're right.
Debbing, so they have time to figure it out at least.
John Destros up in lane 1, finishing a 5:45. No matter how you look at it, the 500 is a long race and takes a lot out of the swimmer.
Yes.
Whether they are 30-second split times for a 50 or a little longer. It's a long swim. Tyler sees the favorite 2 red squares, indicating that he is turning for home, and he is kicking hard as he is finishing up his race. Congratulations to our 500 swimmers.
Certainly all did better than I ever could, so congrats indeed.
So we get a relay next, a 500 or the 200 freestyle.
It'll be our
relay.
last junior varsity one, and it's just one relay team for the Packers going on this.
4 swimmers, each swimming a 50 free as fast as they can. The timers, there are 3 ways that a time is recorded for each lane. There's the pad, timing pad that sits down in the water that the swimmers touch. There's a plunger, a button that is used as the swimmers touch the wall that is still connected to that pad. So volunteers at the end both have a stopwatch, and then they, an old-fashioned stopwatch in their hands that they start, and then they also use a plunger that's connected to the timing pad in the water. So there's 3 ways to make sure a swimmer gets a time. So we have the, a JV 1 set of swimmers in lane 4 for South St. Paul. Jamaris Tess, Corbin Ambrose, Alex Ortiz Flores, and Matthew Glendernick. Jamaris Tess is in the water first.
And they each do 1 back and forth, correct?
Yes,
all right.
Just a 50. Tess is an 8th grader for the Packers and swimming really well. The second swimmer in the water will be Corbin Ambrose, a 7th grader. Corbin is finishing up his 50. And his teammate is Alex Ortiz Flores up on the blocks, getting ready, set to start, and trying to be most efficient as he leaves the blocks and his teammate touches the wall.
So did you have a favorite event when you were younger that's since changed?
Well, I only was a competitive swimmer as about an 8, a 9, and 10-year-old.
Okay.
So I don't really remember. I didn't want to swim the long distance, and I probably liked freestyle.
All right.
But I started swimming with the club, the Haste Club in Hastings, as an adult. So I don't know how many years it's been. Been a lifelong swimmer, but really started swimming laps. It is great exercise. It is really amazing cardio, but it's also nice because it doesn't put a lot of pressure on joints. So the days of being able to run for many of us as we age get harder and harder to run. Swimming's great. In the summer, it's really fun to swim outside at the outdoor pool. Thankful that Hastings does have an outdoor pool.
Yes, that it does.
I can tell you my least favorite stroke was backstroke.
Oh, really?
I don't go anywhere. I still really don't.
Okay.
No matter how hard I try.
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, that now brings us to the 200-yard freestyle for
the
varsity.
varsity, yep.
So 5 relay teams will be up.
Looks like 3 for Hastings and 2 for the Packers. In lane 1 for Hastings is Adam Dewar, Oliver Gergen, Obi Haveman, and John Destros. In lane 2 for the Packers, Tyler Debbing, Caleb Weberg, Tom Eikens, and Noah Ofling. In lane 3 for Hastings, Taylor Schmaltz, Thomas Foss, Tristan Herbst, and Philip Jensen. In lane 4 for the Packers, Colin Rathmanner, John Rowan, Daniel Everson, and Stephen Eikens. And in lane 5 for Hastings, Charlie Jensen, Tyler Wood, Nick Cohen, and Nathan Barker. It looks like Adam Dewar in lane 1 will hit the wall first, followed by his teammate, Oliver Gergen.
Gergen still holding that lead for Hastings right now in the first lane. And
Thomas Foss in lane 3, followed by Caleb Weiberg from South St. Paul.
looks like Rowan in lane number 4 is catching up there with Foss.
And lane 5 is
Wood, yep.
Tyler Wood for Hastings. Looks like everyone stayed kind of in the same position. We have Obi Haveman in lane 1. In the middle of the pool is Tristan Herbst for Hastings, followed by Daniel Everson for the Packers in lane 4. It looks like Tristan has taken the lead in lane 3.
Everson's catching up there with Haveman, it looks like, though, in lane 3 and 1.
Philip Jensen goes in the water, followed by Stephen Eikens in lane 4. And up in lane 1 is John Destros. Nathan Barker is in lane 5 for Hastings, and Noah Ofling in lane 2 for the Packers.
Jensen looking like he'll be the clear-cut finish in
That's
first.
really, really tight race.
Yeah,
For
Ike is in
second,
stress, but it looks like
I think
Destros got there first, yep.
he did.
And finishing up here, so looks like a close
Another
one at the
close
end.
race between 4 and 5 as well. I think Hastings touched.
Barker got there first, and Offline come up last there.
A nice race. And now we have the 100 backstroke. We'll just have one heat of that, the varsity heat, and a full pool. And yes, for backstroke, we already have talked about this once, that the swimmers start in the water.
Mm-hmm.
And like mother, like son, Caleb is not a fan of the backstroke.
All right.
But it's all, hey, you got to do all the strokes.
You do it at some point, I guess, on swim team, so.
So that does lead us to Rafael Gudrian in lane 1, John Rohan in lane 2 for the Packers, Caleb Urban lane 3 for Hastings, Stephen Eikens for the Packers in lane 4, Taylor Schmaltz for Hastings in lane 5, and Joe Russo in lane 6 for the Packers. The announcer is just getting done. Getting everyone introduced. The starter will get them in the water soon.
And they get started here on this one.
Yep. 4 lengths of backstroke.
And lanes 2 through 5 all pretty close here to start. 1 and 6 close with each other as well.
Coach Jerry Rupp for the Hastings Raiders is a All-American backstroker.
Oh, yes, that's right.
He should have a team full of amazing backstrokers,
Well,
which obviously is a joke. You know, Obviously, everyone figures out the strokes they like.
Yep.
And coaches can't necessarily make someone like a particular stroke.
Yep.
So Caleb in lane 3 is flip for home in first, followed by Stephen Eikens in lane 4. Taylor Schmaltz in lane 5 is not far behind, and a close race with
Rowan
lane 2.
like
yeah.
Lane 4. Well, 2, my bad.
And in lane 6, Joe Rosso, and in lane 1, Rafael Gudrian.
Bring that one home here.
The winning time for this event was a 1:03.28. Nicely done, boys. We'll move on to the 100-yard breaststroke.
Yep, last individual event here this evening.
Another full 6 lanes.
Event 22, this is our 100-yard breaststroke varsity. For the Packers, it's lane number 2, Noah Offlane.
So tonight for the 100-yard breaststroke, Adam Dewar is in lane 1 from Hastings. Noah Offling for South St. Paul is in lane 2. Tristan Herbst in the middle of the pool in lane 3 for Hastings. Daniel Everson in lane 4 for the South St. Paul Packers. Tyler Wood from Hastings in lane 5. And in lane 6 for the Packers is Alex Ortiz Flores. 4 lengths of the breaststroke. Breaststroke is probably one of the more challenging, if not the most challenging stroke to put together. The timing of a pull, breathe, and kick is challenging. You either love it or you hate it.
Well, we'll see who.
Right. And you'll see a variety of technique in the breaststroke. Some swimmers come far out of the water. Some move their head a lot. Some are very close to the water. A tight race between Adam Dewar and Daniel Everson in lane 4.
Yeah, not far behind them are Offing Herbst.
Yep. And Tyler Wood is not far behind as well in lane 5. It's a close race.
From our vantage point, it looks like Everson's in the lead right now. And he is the first to touch the wall. But Dewar and Offing not too far behind. Same with Herbst. And Wood and Ortiz Flores bringing up the rear there.
The breaststroke is all about efficiency. There is the a small glide. And figuring out the timing between a pull and a breathe and a kick and a glide is important. Daniel seems to have that timing down and coming into the wall. Looked like about a 112. Adam Dewar for Hastings. Noah Offling in lane 2. Tristan Herbst in lane 3. Tyler Wood in lane 5 for Hastings, and Alex Ortiz Flores in lane 6.
With Ortiz Flores hitting the wall there, that'll bring us into our last event, the 400-yard freestyle.
4 teams will swim, or 4 relay teams. 2 from Hastings, and I apologize, 3 from Hastings and 1 from St. Paul.
One heat is our varsity heat of the 400 freestyle relay. We have the Packers in lane number 4. We have the Raiders in lanes 1, 3, and 5.
We'll announce the 4 swimmers in each lane once they get started. This is the 400 freestyle relay, 4 swimmers. Each swim a 100, which is 4 lengths of the pool. And they're off in lane 1 for Hastings is Nick Cohen. He will have John Destros, Obi Haveman, and Garrett Watterson behind him. In lane 3 for Hastings, Caleb Urban, Taylor Schmaltz, Isaac Schulk, and Thomas Foss. In lane 4 for the Packers, Caleb Weiberg, Aaron Mowanaki, Caleb Schlemmer, and Joe Rosso. And in lane 5 for Hastings, Charlie Jensen, Kenrick O'Donnell, Nathan Barker, and Rafael Gudrian. Caleb Urban looks in lane 3 to have quite a lead.
Very extensive lead right now. He's already going around as all the others get to like the 2/3 mark, I'd say. So that will bring Schmaltz into the water. He's the first second round swimmer. And then finishing up a second there, looks like will be Jensen.
Charlie Jensen, the diver, has been a swimmer for many years as well. And now Kenrick O'Donnell's in the water. Aaron Mowanaki is in the water for South St. Paul. John Destros up in lane 1. Taylor's on his 3rd length, about to turn for home.
Yeah, not far behind him is Destros, starting his 3rd one, getting to the halfway mark there.
So up next in lane 3 for Hastings will be Isaac Schulk. In lane 1 will be Obi Haveman.
O'Donnell making his
so
final
Isaac's in the water.
Around. Nice motivation there for that Packer team doing their own row.
Love the team spirit. That was awesome. Kenrick O'Donnell's coming to the wall, followed by Mowanaki. Looks like Nathan Barker will go in next for Hastings in lane 5.
Schulk turning around, going for his last 2.
Caleb Schlemmer in lane 4, for the Packers. The 3rd swimmer for Hastings, Isaac Schulk, is going to hit the wall. And Thomas Foss will take off. Very close race in 4 and 5 between
Schlemmer
Nathan
and Barker, yeah. They might come neck and neck.
Obi Haveman is finishing up his 100 as the 3rd swimmer for Hastings in lane 1. And
Watterson will
Garrett
be next
Watterson's next, yep. Thomas Foss is churning away in the middle of the pool. It is a great tight races. I love tight races. Nathan Barker and Caleb Schlemmer.
Neck and neck. Their teammates will probably enter the pool at the same exact time here.
Yep. Off you go. There's Rafael Gudrian and Joe Rosso.
They both come up at the same time out of the water, and they're pretty dead even if one got a head start.
They both have very long arms. Thomas Foss is going to finish this relay for Hastings in lane 3. Rafael cannot see Joe Rosso in lane 4 at this point. They're going to flip. Looks like Rosso is pulled away a little bit.
Good time that did.
And Garrett Watterson finishes up for Hastings in lane 1. Caleb Schlemmer turns for home for South St. Paul in lane 4. Gudrian in lane 5 for Hastings.
Looks like Rosso might be able to finish ahead of Gudrian. The first relay team got in lane 3 got a time of 3 minutes and 48 seconds at top, and then the second one in lane 1, 4 minutes and 8 seconds.
That does conclude the swimming events for tonight. We'll wait as we'll see.
Final scores announced here between the teams.
I don't think the final event's going to change the score significantly.
No.
Hastings has 97 and South St. Paul has 68. I'm impressed with South St. Paul has a lot of young swimmers.
That they do.
And that's a great thing going forward. Encourage them, get them started early. They're only going to get faster and stronger. And Hastings has a lot of young swimmers as well.
That they do. So
I'm not sure when South St. Paul swims next, but I know Hastings, I believe, swims a week from tonight here at home for senior night.
And we'll be covering that as well.
Awesome.
But just a reminder, our next broadcast is tomorrow night, girls basketball at the high school against Simley, not Two Rivers, Hunter. Yep.
We're getting all our teams and our dates straight.
Yes. But yes, we'll be covering swimming next Thursday, and then next Saturday we'll be covering the boys basketball game at home at 3 p.m.
As a community member, I'll plug the HCTV sponsorship video that you saw earlier.
Well, thank
there
you.
are, I don't know, in the size town of Hastings to have a TV channel and a TV station that covers so many community events, and it has been a huge asset, especially during COVID.
Yeah,
and many things were, you know, no spectators and parents and grandparents and friends we all wanted to see. So,
and we also want to thank Town Square TV for picking up the feed this evening. We'll be doing a good swap of that too with boys basketball tomorrow night with them, and then we'll cover girls basketball as well.
I think the teams are getting ready to serenade each other with a cheer.
Yep.
It's great to see good sportsmanship, encouraging each other. Whether the fastest or the newest swimmer, it's very fun to see teams encouraging each other and across the teams.
Definitely.
Tonight's final score, your Hastings Raiders 97.
Hastings Raiders 97.
So,
and South St. Paul 77. Was that what they said?
76.
76.
97 to 76.
And as if they didn't swim enough, they'll all get in and swim a little cool down.
Yep. So that will do it here for us this evening here at HCTV, and just special thanks to Hunter Pinky, Julie Urban, Theodore Tollefson, Ian Andersek, and Max Slocum. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow night for our next broadcast.